So today we're going to make grocery bag holders. What you'll first need is you'll need to get a strap of fabric. It doesn't have to be perfectly even or anything. This is going to be used for the handle that you'll use to hold your bag. And then you also need to get a scrap of fabric. You know, it doesn't have to be a specific measurement. Just whatever size you want and material you want. You just want it to be perfectly square or rectangle. We're first going to start off with the handle. I'm actually making two of them because I need one for the kitchen and one for that I use for the rat cage. This is going to be the handle, and I'll show you how to make that. First you want your fabric, and you want to make sure one side of it is as straight as possible. I'm actually going to pull this one down a little bit. Okay. Now you're going to take one side of the fabric, oops, and you're going to fold it over again. And the reason we do so many layers, it just makes it thicker so the handle doesn't break. Okay. And then just push down the crease to help keep it lined up. Okay, you want to make sure that's perfect. And again, you don't have to make sure they're completely perfect, because you're gonna be folding it, and all those little hidden pieces are gonna be non-showing. Okay. Now you're gonna take one side and you're gonna fold it into about the middle. Push down. Take the other side. Push it into the middle. Then you're gonna fold it again. Oops. Usually I do it about halfway, and then I fold it again. And depending on how wide you want your handle, depends on how many times you would fold it. I like mine pretty thin, that way it could fit on hooks and stuff. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pins. Then I'm actually going to pin it so that it'll stay closed. Oops. Push it in, pull it out. Now this material that I'm using is almost like a plastic material, so it's a little harder for me to get these in. You can use any kind of fabric you want. This is just some spare that I had laying around that I never used. It was given to me and I couldn't figure out what to do with it, and my mom actually gave me this idea because she had one that she had actually bought from the store, and I'm like, oh, okay, that looks like it's really easy. So when you pin these, you want to kind of try to pin it towards the middle, because when you sew it, you're going to be sewing towards the outside where the open side is. So you want to try to make sure you sew towards the middle, that way you don't hit your pins. Okay. The thread that I'm using is actually a clear nylon thread. Again, it's just because of the material I'm using. It'll help keep it from showing. But you can use any thread you want based off of the material you used. I mean, obviously you don't want to use a blue on, you know, a pink fabric or something. Or some people might. That's all up to you. Okay, and then I'm going to sew this. That was my fault. I had my pin facing down and it was getting caught in the hole. So let's try this again. Since we have part of it sewn down, I can take that pin out. Alright, here we go. Okay, I'll take this pin out. Oops. Can't seem to grip it. There we go. You just take your time. The slower the better, because the slower you do it, the more accurate you'll get it. Okay. Alright, now what I like to do is once you get all the little excess things off, this will help when we go to put it in, is I'm just going to do an itty bitty stitch right there to keep these together. It'll help a lot when it comes to actually putting it in the fabric. Okay. So all I want is just one little stitch, enough to keep it on there, or keep it together. Okay, see? One little stitch. Alright, so we got these together. Alright, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to want to put your elastic in the sides. I went ahead and did one, but I'm going to go ahead and show you with this piece real quick. What you're going to do. This fabric, I have it in several layers just because of the material. You don't have to do several layers. I mean, obviously, you know, cotton or something like that is thick enough by itself. So, I just have this one several layers because of the material. What you're going to want to do is you're going to take your elastic and you're going to pin it here. And you're just going to sew enough to where you can grip this side. Because what you're going to do is, once you got that sewn, you're actually going to flip. Oops, I just dropped it. You're going to flip the elastic inside of it so you can actually have a couple layers like this. And so on this side, you're actually going to have it sticking out. So what you're going to do, when you sew it, you're actually going to pull it as it goes through the machine. That way, when it's in there, it'll actually bunch up like this. See? And I still got stragglers there I need to cut off on this one. Okay. And I went ahead and did that to save us time on the video. This side I didn't do it because I just put the elastic in more, and you're not going to be able to see it once it's sewn. So I went ahead and did it that way. Okay, so once you got the elastic in, you're going to flip it inside out like this. Okay, and this side is going to be my top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin it closed. Right here. I'm going to actually pin it inwards a little bit so that I can sew towards the outside. And I'm going to put my strip right here. Now remember, when you sew it, that it goes on the inside, because you're going to flip this back out once you're done. And I'm going to go down and I'm just going to line it up and put pins every so often. This just helps keep the material from moving when you're sewing. Yeah. And then one last pen right here. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to sew this side together. Okay. So we're back. I believe I got the technical difficulties fixed. We'll find out. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and sew. And again, we're going to move out all the pins if I can grab it as we sew. Oh, and something I did forget to tell you is when you sew, you want to try to leave at least an inch to half an inch on the side, just because of the fact of you're gonna want to make sure that your thread and stuff doesn't break through the ends later on. It gives you enough room and enough leeway. Okay. Now this part might be a bit tricky because this is where the handle is and it's quite thick, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, and then I'm going to take this pin out. Just go slow over it. Okay, and then take it out. Make sure it all got sewn in there okay. And you're going to flip it in the inside out. And there you go. All I gotta do is hang it up, start packing it full of bags, and you can just pull it out the bottom as you need it. Leave your comments below, tell me how you enjoyed it, and any questions or anything, just let me know. Bye.